development plan for the Ajami neighborhood. Now, this development plans that came with Zionism to Palestine, by the way, they were very good. Their only problem was that there have been a people living here. This was a small marginal detail. So usually when they are developing the area, they need to do the process with another thing which is called Jewidizing the area. They never develop the area for the people living in the area. When you are going to visit the Negev desert, you're going to see the same problem. The Negev desert needs development. And there are hundreds of thousands of Arabs living there. If your main target is to develop the area, you can develop it for its residents. But in Israel, there's a ministry which is called the Ministry for Developing the Negev and the Galilee, which means Jewidizing the Negev and the Galilee. This is what, first of all, before developing, most of their plan is to destroy the Arab villages there. And then they start developing and Jewidizing. Now, don't want to talk too much about the general. In Jaffa, 1948, I was telling you that Jaffa was the most important Arab-Palestinian city. It was doing very good economically, mainly because of exporting oranges to the whole world. Now, why Jaffa was much more important than California in exporting oranges? Till the 19th century, oranges that were well known all over the world were only the oranges with the thin cover. Very good kind of orange, you tasty, you have all the vitamins. It has a small problem. It could not be exported for long distances. It could not hold for a long time inside the ships. Early 19th century, seems to be it has been a biological mutation, and we had a new kind of an orange that changed the history of the city of Jaffa. The orange with the thick cover. We call this orange Shammuti. This Shammuti, this big orange with the thick cover, could be exported for long distances and could hold for a long time inside the ships. So it allowed the Palestinian peasants to export oranges to Europe and to America. We were selling the Americans oranges once. This made us something very important. A lot of people came to work in Jaffa. The city developed very fast, and it became the biggest Arab, most important Palestinian city. In the partition declaration that everybody talks about, nobody really did read the partition stupid declaration. Northern to Jaffa, it's Tel Aviv and should be part of the Jewish state. Southern to Jaffa, it's also part of the Jewish state. Eastern to Jaffa, it was also part of the Jewish state. We had the Mediterranean in the west. Now, if they would have brought Jaffa inside the Jewish state, they would have had Arab majority. So Jaffa was kind of enclaved inside the Jewish state. The different terrorist Zionist gangs saw that as a big strategic threat for the future of the Jewish state. So they decided to occupy Jaffa. Now, when your main target is to build a Jewish state, you want to have also a Jewish majority. Zionists did not want to leave Europe to come and share with us our homeland. They first of all declared that it is empty. There's nobody there. And those who are there are some stupid barbarians who are not Europeans. Okay, so they are less. So you can't deal with them with human rights discourse. So you could not build a Jewish state with an Arab majority. They had two ways to build their own project. Either they work the American way, you kill as much as you can Indians, like what happened in Australia, Canada, New Zealand. Human beings have never been a great creature. Not only the Nazis, a lot of different kinds of human beings were not great creatures. Or you could expel the local community. In the environment after the Second World War, they chose to expel. There's big discussion between the historians if the Palestinians were expelled or ran away. In my point of view, this is a totally stupid discussion. It's irrelevant. The results are that there were no Palestinians in their homeland after this war, and also after the ceasefire, they were not allowed to go back. By the way, the Americans did not like that, and they sanctioned Israel. They put sanctions on Israel straight after the war because they did not allow the refugees to go back. There were some human beings in America at that time. At least in the policymakers. At least there. Right. What's really important in our case is what happened to the Ajam. We are doing a tour in the Ajam. In the case of Jaffa, I told you, out of 120,000 people in the city and its surroundings, only 3,900 were left.
Were what?
Were left. Were not expelled. Stayed. Now this 3,900, this very small number, stayed all over the big city in Jaffa, in the eastern areas, in the old city, in the northern area, all over. 2 families here, 2 people there, some people here and there. People who passed a big war, lost all their families, they were not here anymore, and we became a minority in our homeland. Ben-Gurion, the Israeli important leader at that time, told our military governor, Mr. Chizik, that seems to be German origins, ran away from the Nazis. He tells them, man, you collect all these enemies that were left in Jaffa and you put them in one neighborhood in order to control them better. Chizik, as someone who passed the ghettos, sent him a letter back to Ben-Gurion and told him, Mr. Ben-Gurion, there is no need to do that. We are talking about very small number of people. Most of them are very old. None of them as dangerous. There is no need to do that. Ben-Gurion sent him another letter. Told him, Chizik, this was very human from you. You lost your job. Someone else will do that. The someone else that came immediately learned the lesson, brought all the Arabs inside this neighborhood, surrounded us with a tile fence that went on the main street and on the beach. We were put inside this tile fence with 2 gates, soldiers outside the gates. The European Jews that survived the Second World War called our neighborhood a ghetto. We did not know what's a ghetto before Zionism. We learned this word thanks to the Zionist movement.
Wow.
In the Israeli official papers 1950s, we were called Ghetto Ajami.
Wow.
Now the people who stayed in the ghetto passed 3 different kinds of catastrophes, of Nakbas, one after the other. Let's go, there's some trees here, I put you in the shade and then I tell